Yay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our office hours for our Success Path to Peaceful Parenting membership. And I would say that our membership agenda has been slightly reshaped. You might even say derailed by circumstance, just like the rest of our lives have been derailed by circumstance at the moment. So we're going to focus right now on getting through this pandemic in the best way possible with our families. And that means we're putting all of our peaceful parenting skills and habits to work for us. And we're inventing new things that will help us to get through. So we don't usually, when I first conceived the Success Path, I thought, okay, once a month we'll get together and we'll talk about, whatever the focus of the day that month is, right? Like special time or self-regulation. We are going to have office hours a little more often, I think, right now, because this is an unusual time. And so I'm delighted to be here with you today. We'll still have the office hours we planned on April 5th, but this is an extra office hours. And we're focusing on the pandemic. I had thought I would be moving into something else this month, but we're going to focus on the pandemic for now. And I, am eager to hear your questions today, and we'll be scheduling other extra office hours. And we're trying to make them work for people in different time zones and different parts of the world. So Friday is everybody's favorite day. Sunday seems to be everybody's second favorite day. People like 1 o'clock, people like 4 o'clock. Some people like 9 a.m. I mean, I'm saying Eastern time equivalents. Some people like 7 p.m. Eastern. So we're going to be moving it around a little bit, but I'm basically thinking Fridays and Sundays mostly, and mostly 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern. But if that absolutely doesn't work for somebody who's maybe not with us right now, but watching after the fact, let me know that. I know there's a link on the membership page that I put there so you can share your preferences with me. But, just tell Candace, talk about it on the Facebook page, write me an email, just so that I can keep track if there's some people who really can't ever seem to get onto the office hours. And I know everything's different now because your kids are home, probably. And so it is a little different right now. But let's go ahead. Let's not take more time in logistics because we can do those anytime. Let's take time right now let's start questions, but let's take time before we do that for something I think is super important. Let's bring ourselves completely into this moment. Let's even close our eyes for just a short moment here. Breathe in. Bring yourself to center. Just breathe again. Let your day go as much as you can. If you're supervising kids, then they're near you, but just let the day go and be fully present. And bring yourself to your deepest calm, your deepest wisdom. Thank you. The more often we do that, the more easily we can get back to that place, even during times when our mind is spinning and it's just hard. And I'll be coming up with more tools for you over this next month. There's an meditation that's posted right now on the membership page that helps with anxiety. And I'll be doing more of those to help you to return yourself to a place of centeredness when you get off balance. All right. So let's start with questions. Candace, you want to share that? Great.
I'm getting a couple of directions here.
Okay.
Excuse me. Okay. What I'm having right now, I'm going to apologize as I don't have names through my Be Live.
People do see this Facebook Live later who are not part of it. And I'm not sure, who are not like here in the moment. I mean, they're part of the membership. I don't know that we even need to use names, to tell you the truth, because people will recognize their questions. And, everybody has some of the same concerns and everyone has somewhat different concerns. And I think we can answer as much as we can, and we can even combine questions if necessary. But I think it also retains people's privacy a little bit better to not use the names. It's fine.
Absolutely. Okay. I have a question. The first question is about mastery. Do you want to come back to this and maybe we can answer? Do you want to? Yep.
Well, I don't know how. You're in charge of the questions.
Okay.
You just, I try to, what I will try to do, which is really hard for me. I want to give thorough answers to everything. I can try to give shorter answers to things. And if you think that they need to be elaborated on, you can give me more specifics from a certain question.
Absolutely. Okay. First question. My two kids are highly intelligent and have always been told by other people, including me, how smart they are. Now I've realized this is actually not good, and I already noticed the effects of this, especially on my daughter. She's lacking internal motivation to master things. I'm type A, anxious, and a perfectionist person, and I have intervened and taken over many times when she's not doing things perfectly. I've stopped doing this almost completely, but how do I take all that back? What do I say to her and her son, to her daughter and her son from now on, to help revert that process? I understand that this is not the subject, but would love some guidance.
Okay, so I'll keep this quick. We can't undo the past. What we can do is stop the contribution we've made and then help our kids to heal, integrate, move on, right? So that's what we do. And in this case, how great that this mom has been able to manage her own type A anxiety about performance and perfectionism, which is how many of us handle our anxiety. How great she's been able to do that and to step back from that with her kids. So now what's left is to with her kids, notice the effect on them as they live it, help them, and really to help them notice the effect. So I don't think it's true that her daughter doesn't have internal motivation. I think it's true that her daughter isn't showing the motivation because something else in there is getting in the way. Everyone has internal motivation. So her daughter's fear is in the way. So beginning to talk about the wish to be perfect, but the fact that no one is, being very self-revealing about how I used to wish I was perfect and that was my favorite thing, but I realized nobody will be and it's okay. And in fact, it stops us from learning. We learn and we when we make mistakes. That's how we learn, by trying new things. And it's okay not to be perfect when we start out. Nobody is. And and I would ask lots of questions because this isn't a lecture, this is a conversation, right? Does being smart mean you don't have to work hard at things? That'd be a great question to start with, right? Because of course, there's no relationship, right? There's no relationship. And do you think people are just born really good at certain things?
Oh, we've paused. I apologize. We seem to be stuck for a minute.
Right now, her kids have a worldview that's somewhat limited, right? About the way to be. And actually, there's a wider worldview she wants to give them. And so asking those questions is a way to that. Let me ask you how the sound is here. Is the sound good? Are we good?
Yeah, we froze for about 5 seconds, but other than that, I can hear you. Nope. Oh, lost you. I'm back.
There it says 1, 2, 3. Good. We're there. We're back. So if you notice the sound is an issue, I'll go get a good microphone. I didn't even think of it because I've been doing interviews on, virtual interviews all week and they've all been good sound, but I want to make sure that this is the best quality sound for our folks today. So if we do need that, I'll just run and get a mic. You let me know.
Okay.
Next question.
This is a great question because this is also what's happening in my house, except the opposite. How do I stop my 7-year-old from bugging his 3-year-old sister? This was a bit of a problem previously, but obviously it's very much aggravated at the moment. He's very kind to his sister, but the bugging has been increasing over the last several months. He says things that aren't true to her, gets close to her, and makes loud noises.
Okay, we don't have to go more. I think everyone who has more than one child, children is bugging the other. Often it's the little one bugging the big one.
Yeah.
So let's think about what's behind the bugging. Always. So this is when we have a behavior we don't like. We stop. We get curious, right? We take a breath to get rid of our own reactivity, and then we get curious. What's going on? What's behind that behavior? So in the case of a younger child with the older child, often they're wanting the older child's attention. They're wanting some connection. Older child bugging the younger child, sometimes they're jealous because mom or dad is giving the younger child more attention. Sometimes they're just bored, right? They're just bored and they want something to do. Sometimes they're more outgoing. They're the kid who's more outgoing, and so they want to be. They just need to be engaged more with somebody else, right? So either way, I would say if you have kids who are bugging the other child, you want to intervene to set limits. That's one thing you want to do. Sorry, make sure I'm on camera here. One thing you want to do is intervene to set limits. That's another thing you want to do is give the child who's being bugged language to stick up for themselves. And number 3, you want to change your structure in your home a little bit to meet the needs better. So what do we do to set limits? You notice one kid's bugging the other and you go over and you say, and you empathize with each kid. Whichever kid's doing the bugging, you say, seems like you really want your sibling to connect with you right now. Or attention is sort of a loaded word. Most of us have a negative view of attention, not because that's accurate, but because that's what our society has said. Oh, kids just do that for attention, as if that's a bad thing, right? We all need attention. We all need connection. So I'm a little leery of the word attention, because most of the time kids have a bad association with it. We're like, I'm not wanting attention, whatever. So I would just use the word connection usually instead, and depending on the usage in your home. So looks like you really want to connect with your sibling right now, huh? And then you turn to the kid who's being bugged and you say, and it looks like you're really absorbed in what you're doing. You really don't want to connect with your sibling right now. Is that right? Do I have that right? Do I have that right? This is a tough problem. What should we do? Then you may give the buggy language and say, you can say to the buggy, I know you love your sibling. Whether they're 3 or 7, you can say, I know you love your sibling, and it's okay to want to just focus on your whatever right now. You can tell your sibling, right now I'm busy doing this. I love you, but can we play later? That's an amazingly mature thing. Wouldn't it be great if couples could use that with each other? All of them getting angry at each other. But you can do that. You can say, I love you, but, or I love you, and of course, a 3-year-old can't always do that. So the 3-year-old can just say, right now I'm playing. Later, you can give them a shortcut. But notice that what's happened is the other kid has heard this. The other kid has heard it right now, whether they're 3 or 7 or however, 12. They've heard